We see a battle where an arbitrary ruler, Dixon, ignited resentment in his reign, and King Wu of Zhu Jifa sent 50,000 soldiers to bring down Dixon. In retaliation, King Zhu of Shang Dixon sends hundreds and thousands of his best soldiers to tackle them. This battle will determine the legitimate ruler. This battle will be called the Battle of Mui. The army is in the thousands, and the surface seems black with the shields from the sky. The fights start, and both armies collide with each other in spirit to kill. There are the two knights who betray their king Dixon and attack him, but Dixon jumps back and defends himself with his sword. Meanwhile, Zhang Zia came to Dixon King to taste him bitter for his bad deeds, as the people asked Zhang to punish Dixon for his cruelty. Zhang attacks with his sword, and a light blue slash collides with Dixon, and he falls to the ground. Dixon is captured by Zhang's army, but afterward, we see Zhang is surrounded by flame, but he is not burning, saying he is a god so he will never die, and he warns that he will take revenge, but Dixon is burned to death at Deer Terrace Pavilion. This is the story of how the Zhou dynasty defeated the Shang dynasty. This story was taught by Chairman Bai, who belongs to the Bai clan, to his students. Bai tells his students about the recently discovered statue of Dixon. A student named Tadu from France questions Bai about the ring that is shown in Dixon's statue, which might be important to Dixon. At the back of the classroom, there are two students. One named Liu Fugui is asking Zhu Zion to help him hunt treasure. Zhu Zion went to see his mom in the hospital. It has been 5 years since Zion's father did not come back from the excavation in the Wuyi Mountains. A nurse calls Zion outside and tells him to pay the treatment fee soon if he wants her mother to be better. Zion leaves the hospital to work and earn money. Zion calls Fatty and goes to meet him. Zion reached, and he saw gangsters standing with Fatty. Fatty gives Liu a ring that has a Taoist pattern and Yunlei engravings, which may belong to the Shang dynasty, to wear, but Zion rejects it as it can harm him. Fatty gives him greed. If Zion wears the ring, he will pay his mom's treatment fee. Finally, Zion accepts to wear the ring, and when he wears the ring, nothing happens initially, but after a few minutes, Zion becomes uncomfortable and spits it out. Fatty is standing near Zion without knowing the danger, and his arm turns into dust. The thing Zion spits gets converted into a devil. The devil appears in front of gangsters, and when one throws a bomb at it, it uses its insane speed and goes behind the one and stabs him with his hand, takes out his heart, and eats it. The devil killed another one by making his hand long, and a man threw an axe at it. The devil caught it and threw it back at the same guy, and he got killed. The devil attacks a man with a smash, and the man gets killed by a hit. He stabs another man with his hand, and the man's body shrinks and dies. Zion is trying to get off the ring, and a girl named Zhang helps him, but the devil comes to them. Zion came in front to save Zhang, closed his eyes, and kissed her. Meanwhile, a man with a knife named Curved Blade came and protected them by fighting with the devil with his fast reflexes. Zion and Zhang ran and went to the restaurant. Zion drinks coffee to calm down, but he is worried about the situation that Fatty might have died in and how he will pay his mother's treatment fee. They got up and went to the hotel. Zhang booked a room, and Zion's mind was filled with negative thoughts. Zhang goes to the room, takes Zion in, and tells him about herself. Her name is Zhang Xuanyan, and she is a reporter for the Chengnan Daily paper. Zhang examines Zion by seeing his ring with a magnifying glass, which gets attached to his finger. Zhang forces Zion to take his clothes off to examine his body, and Zhang forcefully does so. When Zhang put her hand in her pocket to take pictures of Zion's body, she realized she had fallen on his phone, so she went outside to search. The next morning, Zion wakes up after watching a strange dream about being caught by the devil. Suddenly, the police come and arrest Zion as a suspect in the murder case at the Chengnan construction site. Zioqian and Ouyang are managing this case. Zion made Zhang his witness to prove his innocence, but when they went to her, Zion was shocked to see her dead. Zioqian and Ouyang understand Zion is lying, so they take him in the patrol car. Zion is thinking of the consequences if he gets involved in this murder case. Suddenly, the devil monster came and told Zion to give his body to it. Then it would help him kill everyone, but he rejected it, and the devil disappeared. They arrived and took Zion into another patrol car. Zion was worried about his mom, and when he misbehaved, Ouyang folded his hand, and Zion bit his ring. Suddenly, the car shakes, and when Zion wakes up, he finds himself with Zioqian and Ouyang arrested too, surrounded by mask-faced people. One masked person tells Zion his boss has ordered them to save him, and when their boss talks to Zion on a video call, Zion is surprised to see Fatty alive with his arm. Zion tells Fatty to prove his innocence to the police, but he rejects it and suggests a new way to prove his innocence, which is Zhang's phone. Fatty sent his man to the Forensic Identification Center to take Zhang's cell phone to get the footage of the devil, and he took the phone. But when the man got over Zhang, she came back to life, killed the man, and ran away with her phone. Fatty doubts Zhang is a human and that she might be spying on him. Fatty took advantage of Zion's situation and told him to give the ring back and take Zhang's phone back to him if he wanted his mom to get better. The Fatty squad is chasing Zhang underground but ends up colliding with zombies, and one man uses a grenade to bust the zombies. They arrived at a place where there is a horrific house to get Zhang's phone, but Aoyang warns him about the curse of the house. They went to the house, got a passage where they found their squad guns on the way, and realized his squad was killed. Zion unlocked Ziokian and Aoyang so that they could help. They see the strange animal parts and elements there in the light, and they find stairs going down. A man named Wang is watching them through cameras and uses a button to make them slide and fall. A squad member takes a torch from the wall, and several arrows are headed toward them, but he easily defends it using his insane reflexes. Arrows start coming to hit them, and Zion falls to the ground to avoid the arrows. When he sees the light, he remembers his father's conversation and remembers that it's a photosensitive trap, and when they turn off the torch, arrows stop coming. A squad member throws a bomb to fully expose the light and destroy the arrow's photosensitive trap. Wang becomes unable to monitor through cameras. They saw a gate and ran to it, but when they opened it, they found a hybrid creature under the glass. Aoyang opens a secret gate, but it is a dead end. The chimpanzee-human hybrid creature breaks the glass and comes out. It attacks the man, and the bare-faced creature attacks another. The squad starts firing, but it does not affect the creatures. Zion sees the Zhang lipstick stain on the wall, and using it, a hidden gate opens, and they go into it, which is a lift. They reached downstairs and saw a girl named Liu Yuanyuan, who is a celebrity, lying down on a bed. A masked man orders Aoyang to check on Liu, and Liu wakes up and behaves in fear, and Ziokian calms her. Zion sees a cut stain on Liu's neck and alerts Ziokian to stay away from her, and Liu shows her true colors. Liu attacks Ziokian, but Aoyang saves her by coming in front. Liu tells them she is the real Liu Yuanyuan, who makes his body immortal and becomes a monster, and there are also others with immortal bodies. The squad leader shot Liu, but she stood again. They all shot her to death, but nothing happened. Liu is about to attack again, but Aoyang holds her leg and orders Ziokian to run. Liu kills and eats Aoyang's heart. Zion and Ziokian run with masked men, but the squad leader uses a bomb on Liu but is unable to escape. They successfully came out, except for the leader. A masked man fired a bullet at Ziokian's leg and left her alone with suicide equipment, but Zion stayed with her. Wang captures Zhang in an electric shock cage as a punishment for leaving the hint for Zion and messing up the lab. Zion first helped Ziokian tear his t-shirt to stop bleeding. Ziokian never thought of being stuck in such a situation. Suddenly a sound came from the passage, and Zion went inside the darkness. Zion comes in front of Liu, and Liu is about to attack him, but Zion agrees to give his body to the devil. Suddenly, the devil comes out behind Liu from the wall and attacks her with one hand, and she falls to the ground. The devil grabs Liu and hangs her in the air. Liu uses his cutter hand on the devil's neck, and she becomes free, but the devil holds her hand by taking his hand in front and breaks Liu's cutter hand. She ran, but the devil bashed her to the ground. Liu is beaten to death, and the devil stares into Zion's eyes. The two masked men went to a place and found trip mines removed, which can only be deteriorated. They take off their masks, and one with green hair kicks a stone toward a cave. A mouse appears, which scares him and frightens him, so he starts firing at the mouse, but not a single bullet scratches the mouse. Mouse makes the green-haired man hit the wood set with a bottle, which leads to the bottle hitting his head. The man grabs the mouse, but it easily frees itself from his hands, and the other man laughs at him. A mouse group approaches him and runs over him. Suddenly, the mosquito-like creature appears, and one man runs but gets sucked in by the mosquito. Ziokian crawls towards Zion. She has lost a lot of blood, and the devil offers Zion to give him his body when they integrate with each other. Zion feels extreme pain at the time, and the devil grabs Zion and fills his body with his tentacles through his nose, mouth, and ears to acquire Zion's body. In the control room, Wang opens the cage and sees the devil video on Zhang's phone. The devil is about to come back to life, but as it licks the ring, the masked man named Curved Blade cuts it by his neck, and Zion falls to the ground. Curved Blade is the same one who saved Zion from the devil before. A fight starts. The devil extends his hand and attacks Curved Blade, but he defends himself and stabs the knife into the devil's hand by lying down. The devil takes his hand back, and questions arise about his words when he said he would directly take the heart of the man as he did with Bai Gan and make his pieces as he did with Bo Yakao. Zion doubts if he is Dixon King Zhu Shang. The devil is the Dixon King, and the one who wears the devil ring becomes the sacrifice for the Devil King's revival. Curved Blade attacks with his knife and Zion throws a stone toward the devil, but the devil easily breaks it. Curved blade cuts the devil's hand with his knife, but it regenerates. Curved blade again cuts the devil's hand, and the devil jumps close to curved blade and attacks from the ground. But curved blade defends himself and cuts the horns, moving forward with his knife. The curved blade cuts the devil's hand as soon as it regenerates. At the lab, Wang bound Jiang on a cot as she tried to destroy the chief of the Corpse Clan lab by taking a monster. Jiang frees up one leg, kicks Wang in the mane, and bumbles into the wall. A glass bottle breaks and a hand monster comes out of it. It danced on the control buttons, and Wang fell but was stuck being fat. The hand monster switches on the traps. Wang becomes frightened, and he attacks the monster repeatedly but mistakenly hits the self-destruction button of the lab. The lab is about to collapse with flowing water. Wang runs from there and takes Zai-Okian. Curved blade is distracted by seeing Zai-Okian missing, and the devil kicks curved blade, but he jumps backward. The devil thrashes curved blade with his long hand, and curved blade falls to the ground. The devil is about to kill curved blade, but Zion's hands get converted into the devil's hands, and he stabs the devil with his hand, but the devil tries to take over his body. The ring shines in Zion's hands. The devil melts down, and the Zion hand becomes normal again. They leave. Suddenly, Jiang falls on the Zion, and curved blade explains that Jiang is also from the Corpse Clan, and those people can come back to life after death. The man attacks Jiang, but Zion stops him as she is escaping from the place. Zion sees the water, and Jiang tells them that self-destruction has started and that if they want to get out safely, they should follow her. They see the danger in front of them, which is suicide equipment. Jiang handles it but speaks to Zion to stay with her, and curved blade leaves. Jiang bursts with the suicide bomb, and she comes back to life with some pink patterns on her body. Curved blade returns, and they follow Jiang to go out. On the way, they see the two from the squad die and are sucked by the mosquitoes. Jiang opens the secret door, but the sound wakes the mosquitoes. They ran, but the man stopped to fight the mosquitoes. The man killed 2 mosquitoes with his knife and fast reflexes. The mosquito group attacked at once, but curved blade used the wood piece, and their sting stuck to the wood. Jiang leaves lipstick hints for curved blade to come. They gather again and follow Jiang to go out. They turn right and find a well to get out of the place, so they swim across it. Zion is grabbed by the octopus, but Jiang saves him by cutting the octopus's tentacles. They came out of the water, but the octopus attacked with tentacles, but curved blade defended one and the other by Jiang, and she left. The octopus grabs Zion, but Cruzel's blade cuts the octopus's hand and saves him. The place starts shaking, and the octopus comes fully out of the water. Curved blade throws a bomb on the octopus, but it leads to their unconsciousness from the smoke. The octopus grabs the curved blade and Zion, but Jiang uses a fire weapon, and the octopus falls under the water. They are going up, but before Zion climbs, he gets grabbed again and is pulled under the water. In the room, Zion wakes up, thinking maybe it's a dream, but he watches the news of his being suspected of being the missing Zai-Okian, who is the daughter of the mayor. He finds the letter from Curved Blade telling him to come to the given location in 10 days to learn about his ring. Zion went to his mom in the hospital hidden, and his mom had already read the news of him being involved in the murder case, but Zion made her believe he didn't commit a crime. The police get into the room, and Zion jumps from the window. Wang presents Zai-Okian to Bia, and he scolds Wang for taking the mayor's daughter. Wang explains to him that it's all Jiang's fault and blames her for going to the forbidden place of the Corpse Clan. Wang gives Bai Jiang's phone. Meanwhile, Jiang came. Wang punched Jiang, but she grabbed his hand and kicked him. Wang becomes angry and turns himself into a monster. Wang attacks Jiang repeatedly, but she avoids attacks flexibly. Jiang scratches Wang's face, and as he punches, she gets aside, and Wang's sword slides to Bai. When he disobeys Bai, Bai uses his demonic black eye, grabs Wang, and kills him. Jiang is working for Bai, and Bai wants to get the cultivation place and the ring of Dixon to be immortal to lead the corpses. Zion is hiding in the alleyway but is taken to the car by Fatty. Fatty wants his ring and is about to cut his finger, but Zion tells him the other way to take the ring off, which Curved Blade will tell him at Tiangsu Palace. Fatty let Zion go, and Zion saw the tracking suit. Zion reached the place to find the Tiangsu Palace to meet the Curved Palace. Zion climbs the mountain until the evening, but is unable to find Tiangsu Palace and falls to the ground due to starvation. Zion sees Tadu running and some rascals chasing her, so he follows them. Tadu reached the cliff and was surrounded by the rascals, forcing her to give them a pendant that belonged to Mount Wui. One rascal is about to shoot Tadu, but Zion reaches out and stops him from shooting. Tadu tries to run but falls from the cliff, and Zion also jumps and holds his hand. They are about to die, but Zion uses his devil's hand and saves Tadu. Zion pretends that he used magic. Tadu asks him to be his disciple, as she has knowledge about immortals who lived on Mount Wui. There is one famous person named Peng Wu who is immortal. They decided to get out of this place, but Sion is not able to use his devil's hand. They see the hanging coffin burial. It was a custom to place coffins on cliffs, and it is a belief that those who want to be immortal after death place themselves in coffins, and they become immortals after their deaths. Tadu slept, and Sion was thinking about his father, who left him irresponsibly with his mom. Sion pees at the coffin and is shocked to see an immortal named Muxuzi coming out of it. Tadu wakes up and trembles in fear. The immortal shows them a drawing that belongs to the curved blade, who is his disciple. Muxuzi tells Sion that he came here on the order of Wu Yizhenjin of Tiangsu Palace. Muxuzi jumps from the cliff and takes them through a spinning portal. Sion finds himself standing at a place and sees an old man, just as he was seen in the underground Murai. Sion sees people eating the elder Peng Wu alive. Sion thinks it's an afterimage, so he went close, but those people stared at him, and when Sion punched one, it passed through his body. Sion was woken up by Tadu in the same place in reality that he saw in a dream, the place where the immortal said has simplified words written on the rock. Muxuzi tells Sion that the elder was eaten by his descendants, and Sion has doubts that these descendants might become the Corpse clan. Meanwhile, Curved Blaze came, and Sion presented Tadu as his master wife, and Tadu kissed Muxuzi, and Muxuzi offered them a bath, which could prolong their lives by 5 years. Tiangsu's palace is a place where immortals live, and it is a bright place even in the dark night. Some immortals took the Tadu clothes, but Muxuzi got them back, and Curved Blade fell down because he drank too much. Sion is lying down on the bed with a curved blade. Sion gets up as he thinks about his ring and goes outside to find some clues about the ring. Sion sees light coming, and when he gets out of the cave, he finds Tiangsu Palace, where people are practicing. An immortal throws his sword up, and it multiplies and passes through the opponent's body, then becomes a big sword and crashes into a man. An immortal is regretting being immortal, and the two discuss it silently, but Sion is listening to them. There are only 5 masters who got their bodies back after the cultivation of being immortal, and an archaeologist team entered Tiangsu's palace 5 years ago. And after the team disappeared, the 5 masters got their bodies. A master named Chunyang heard them and came to him. Sion is grabbed by his neck. Sion is surrounded by the masters, and Master Chunyang orders Ling Zio to kill him, but 2 immortals stop and tell them he is a Zhenjin guest. An immortal informed him that Zhenjin had called him, and he went. Sion is sitting at the Tiangsu Palace with others, and there is delicious food in front of them. Sion starts eating the food. Meanwhile, Zhenjin came but saw Sion eating, so Ling got angry and broke Sion's table for being disrespectful to Zhenjin. Zhenjin attacks with an electric orb, but Sion grabs the orb with his devil hand and throws it back to Ling. Ling attacks again with it, but Sion avoids it flexibly. Ling attacks through the ground, and Sion jumps from the ground and grabs Ling by the neck, bashing him to the ground. Zhenjin stops Sion, and others warn him for disobeying Zhenjin. All sit in their places. Zhenjin tells Sion that the ring belongs to Tiangsu Palace, and asks how he got it. Sion says he got the ring accidentally, and Zhenjin says the one who wears it died instantly, and it's strange that he is still alive. Zhenjin has no answers to Zion's questions, but he ordered him to stay until tomorrow, as he will announce something important tomorrow. Masters are discussing the Zion, and they have evil intentions for Zhenjin. Jiang and Bai are finding Tiangsu Palace. Sion is worried about the ring. He has doubts that the devil came out of his body because everyone's body explodes when the devil acquires their body directly, so the devil will acquire his body at the right time. An immortal gives Zhenjin an elixir that has something mixed, which is Chenyang evil planning. Sion and Curved Blade heard the sound of the gun, and an immortal told them that Master Zhenjin was killed. Curved Blade and Sion entered the room and found Tadu with the gun, and she killed Zhenjin for his father's revenge. Masters killed the corpses, and an immortal informed him that Zhenjin had been killed. Bai caught the immortal and killed him when he said nothing about the cultivation place. Tadu killed Zhenjin for revenge on her father, Zioayazi, who was a disciple of Tiangsu's palace. Tadu tells about them. 5 years ago, a team of archaeologists was murdered at the place, and Tadu's father sent a letter to her mom in which it was written that the archaeologists' team got attacked by corpses and was saved by the immortals by killing the corpses and taking the team to Tiangsu's palace. Zioayazi looks like a human because he has less power to cultivate. One member of the team falls to the ground, and when he checks his device, he finds something wrong with Tiangsu's palace. The team went to the forbidden cultivation place without permission to analyze it but was caught by Master Zhenjin. Zioayazi visited the cultivation place for the first time. Zhu Ping explains to Zhenjin that he just wants to show his gratitude for Tiangsu. Master Zhenjin bounds all the archaeologists for coming to the forbidden place without permission, and an immortal suggests using them to get their bodies. The 5 immortals got their bodies by eating the elixir made from human bodies. They don't believe in the tattoo, but Muxuzi tells the truth and says that she is right. Xion becomes angry and burns with the flame to avenge his father, Xu Ping, using his devil's power. Curved Blade took Tatu and Muxuzi outside. Xingyang attacks. Masters burns the place to kill Xion, but the fire doesn't affect him. Xion uses his devil's hand and hits Kaingshuan. Xingyang attacks with the blue slash, but Xion defends and attacks them. But they jump back, and Xingyang attacks with his magic order to kill, but Xion defends it. A master makes the tornado around it. Ling fills the tornado with stones, and Xingyang fills it with fire. Xion defends and splits the tornado. Xion attacks them, and they are hit by it, but they unite to attack once. They use a trapping array and bound Xion, but Xion breaks the trap. Clouds are formed above Xion, and he gets hit with the combined attack Gyu and Neck. Xion manages to defend the attack and is about to kill Xingyang, but his hand becomes normal, and he gets kicked by Ling. Ling is about to kill him, but Curved Blade tries to save him by attacking Ling. Ling hits Curved Blade and is about to kill him with the blade, but Muxuzi stops Ling and apologizes to him. Curved Blade didn't accept to apologize to the masters, and Xingyang attacked with an orb to kill Curved Blade, but Muxuzi came in front and got killed. Bai sends his corpses to conquer Tiangsu's palace. Xingyang orders Kaingshuan to cut Xion's finger to get the ring, but as Kaingshuan touches the knife to Xion, it blows off. Xingyang orders to throw Xion to the cultivation palace. The 2 immortals get hit by corpses. Tiangsu's palace leader changes to Wui Dijun, and he allows them to use human bodies to become powerful and get their bodies back. Meanwhile, an immortal informed Dijun that the corpses clan was invading Tiangsu's palace. Dijun orders them to follow him to fight with corpses. Jiang senses Xion's smell fades away near the cultivation place. Bai kicked the gate of the cultivation place, and Jiang and Bai jumped into the cultivation place. Xion is hovering inside the cultivation place and remembering all his memories of the moment when he felt he was about to die. He remembers his mom, dad, and Jiang. Meanwhile, the devil comes and suggests that he kill the immortals who killed his dad and save his friend by killing them.